What if I told you that three brothers arguing over their inheritance created the foundation for modern France, Germany, and Italy? This isn't just any family feud. This is the story of how the Treaty of Verdun in 843 AD literally redrew the map of Europe forever. Picture this. It's the 9th century, and the most powerful empire since Rome is about to tear itself apart. The Frankish Empire, stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to modern-day Hungary, from the North Sea to the Mediterranean, is ruled by one man. Charlemagne, the legendary emperor, has built something extraordinary. But there's one problem he couldn't solve. What happens when the emperor dies? Charlemagne passes away in 814 AD, leaving his vast empire to his son, Louis the Pious. Louis seems like the perfect heir at first. He's devout, he's capable, and he understands the weight of his father's legacy. But Louis makes a critical mistake that will haunt Europe for generations. He tries to divide his empire among his three sons while he's still alive. This decision ignites a powder keg of ambition, jealousy, and political maneuvering that makes modern politics look tame by comparison. Louis's three sons are Lothair, Louis the German, and Charles the Bald. Each one believes he deserves the lion's share of their grandfather's empire. Each one is willing to fight for it. Lothair, the eldest, thinks primogeniture gives him the right to rule everything. He's already been crowned co-emperor and considers his younger brothers mere vassals. Louis the German controls the eastern territories and has the loyalty of Germanic tribes who see him as their natural leader. Charles the Bald rules the western regions and has built strong alliances with powerful nobles who benefit from his generous land grants. When Louis the Pious dies in 840 AD, the gloves come off immediately. What follows is 3 years of brutal civil war that devastates the very empire Charlemagne spent decades building. Brothers fight brothers. Noble families choose sides and wage private wars. Trade collapses. Cities burn. The common people suffer as armies march back and forth across their lands, demanding supplies and destroying crops. The turning point comes in 841 AD at the Battle of Fontenoy-en-Puise. It's one of the bloodiest battles of the early medieval period. Louis the German and Charles the Bald join forces against their older brother, Lothair. The battle is so fierce that contemporary chroniclers describe the ground as literally soaked with blood. Thousands of Frankish nobles die in a single day, weakening the empire's military strength for decades. But the real drama happens the next year. In February 842 AD, Louis the German and Charles the Bald meet in Strasbourg to formalize their alliance against Lothair. What they do next is absolutely revolutionary. They swear the Strasbourg oaths, and here's the kicker. Louis swears his oath in an early form of French, while Charles swears his in an early form of German. This moment is incredible because it's the first time we see the linguistic and cultural divisions that will define Europe for the next 1,000 years. Louis the German understands that to win over Charles's followers, he needs to speak their language literally. Charles the Bald does the same for Louis's Germanic supporters. They're not just making a military alliance, they're acknowledging that their territories have distinct identities. The Strasbourg oaths work. Lothair realizes he can't win against his united brothers. By 843 AD, all three are exhausted by war and ready to negotiate. They meet in Verdun, a town in what's now northeastern France, to hash out a permanent solution. The negotiations are intense. Each brother wants the most valuable territories. They need to balance geographic logic with economic resources and military defensibility. Medieval politics is complicated because land isn't just about size. It's about river access, mountain passes, fertile valleys, and strategic cities. After months of bargaining, they reach an agreement that changes everything. The Treaty of Verdun divides the Frankish Empire into 3 kingdoms. Charles the Bald gets the western portion, which becomes the foundation of France. Louis the German receives the eastern territories, which evolve into the Holy Roman Empire and eventually Germany. Lothair, as the eldest, gets the middle kingdom stretching from the North Sea to Italy, including the imperial title. But here's what makes this treaty so fascinating. It's not just a political document. It's accidentally creating the blueprint for European nationalism. The Western Kingdom develops French language and culture. The Eastern Kingdom becomes increasingly Germanic. The Middle Kingdom, called Lotharingia, becomes a perpetual battleground between French and German influences. Lothair's Middle Kingdom is the most interesting and tragic of the three. It includes modern-day Netherlands, Belgium, eastern France, western Germany, Switzerland, and northern Italy. It's incredibly wealthy because it controls major trade routes, but it's also incredibly vulnerable because it has no natural borders. When Lothair dies in 855 AD, his kingdom immediately begins fragmenting. The long-term consequences of Verdun are staggering. The Western Kingdom becomes France, developing a strong centralized monarchy and distinct Romance culture. The Eastern Kingdom becomes the Holy Roman Empire, maintaining Germanic traditions and eventually becoming modern Germany. The Middle Kingdom's collapse creates a power vacuum that France and Germany fight over for the next 11 centuries. Every major European war from the Middle Ages through World War II can trace its roots back to this moment. The 100 Years' War, the Wars of Religion, the Napoleonic Wars, World War I, World War II, they all involve conflicts over territories that were once part of Lothair's Middle Kingdom. The Treaty of Verdun also establishes a precedent for negotiated settlements over military conquest. Instead of fighting until one brother destroys the others, they choose diplomacy. This becomes a model for medieval conflict resolution, though it doesn't always work as peacefully. Think about it. Three brothers arguing over their inheritance accidentally created the foundation for modern European nations. Their personal ambitions, filtered through medieval politics and geography, shaped borders that still influence our world today. Every time you look at a map of Europe, you're seeing the consequences of decisions made in 843 AD. The Treaty of Verdun proves that history's biggest changes often come from the most human motivations: family rivalry, personal ambition, and the desire for power. Sometimes, the most important moments in history happen not because of grand ideologies or revolutionary movements, but because brothers can't agree on how to split their father's legacy.